Orpheus and Eurydice.
It begins with Orpheus, the best musician that ever lived. One strum of his lyre, one note sung, and beasts would crawl to him. Rocks would shift their moss to move closer to him. Trees would tear their roots to be closer to him. He had more power than any mortal. He lived his life simply and carelessly until the day he met Eurydice. She was a dryad, and when they fell in love, it meant everything to him. But the rustic god, Orpheus, saw Eurydice's beauty and desired it, and did not care that she was unwilling and in love with another. She ran from him in terror, without thought of her step. And so it was, she stepped on a poisonous snake in her flight. The venom of its bite killed her at once, and her spirit went to the underworld. Orpheus was inconsolable. His grief was bitter, but it did not lull him into a stupor. He decided to take action. With his lyre, Orpheus descended into the underworld. A normal mortal would have perished any number of times, but Orpheus had his lyre and his voice. So he charmed the three-headed monster dog of Hades who guarded the underworld into letting him pass. Facing Hades and his cold queen, he played for them his sorrow as the loss of his love. The heart that was frozen by Hades' abduction melted, and a tear rolled down her cheek. Even Hades could not help weeping. They let Orpheus through to Eurydice, but warned him very carefully. Eurydice would follow him into the light of the world, and once she entered the sunlight, would be changed back from a shade to a woman. But if Orpheus doubted, if he looked back to see her, she would be lost to him forever. Orpheus heard and rejoiced. He turned and left the dark hall of Hades and began his ascent back to life. As he walked, he rejoiced that his wife would soon be with him. He listened closely for her footfall behind him, but a shade makes no noise. The closer he got to the light, the more he began to believe that Hades had tricked him into getting out of the underworld, that Eurydice was not behind him. Only feet away from the light, Orpheus lost faith and turned around. Orpheus tried again to enter the underworld and demand her return, but one cannot enter twice the same way. All that was left to him was death. So he played so mournfully that his song called for death, and that the animals who surrounded him tore him apart, weeping as they did. The Muses mourned the death of their son and prodigy, and saved his head to sing forever. To take action. With his lyre, it's not this lyre. Orpheus tried again to enter the underworld and demanded her return. How do you say the name of the dog? Orpheus tried again to enter the underworld and demanded her return. But one cannot enter twice the same way.